I'm tryna put you in the worst mood. P1 cleaner than your church shoes. Really point two just to hurt you. All red lamb just to tease you.
What is the deal, beautiful people? It's your boy Ramon. Welcome back to another episode of AMA. How this works, you ask your question in the comment section down below and we answer it in upcoming videos. So today's question comes from Hassan T. Shout out to you, sir. With the S8 and the coming Note 8, do you think Samsung has surpassed Apple as the lead tech innovator in the mobile world? Whoa, shots fired. And do you think the tech media will acknowledge it? Whoa, at least until the iPhone 7, 7S, or 8? Whoa. What do I think? Do I think Samsung surpassed Apple as the #1 tech innovator? To be honest with you, Samsung surpassed Apple a long time ago. I mean, features like the waterproofing, that was huge. And I mean, Samsung wasn't the first to do that. We got to give a shout out to Sony because they had that on their Xperia series first, or at least I think they were first in the smartphone world, using the camera sensors to do all type of crazy shit. If you guys remember the Galaxy 5 and 6, the phones would do all type of crazy shit, and it wouldn't turn off if it saw you were like looking at it, and all type of craziness. So that's there. Just the camera, the raw camera tech. I mean, you know, these guys pulled ahead a long time ago, and of course the display tech. You know, it is what it is. I'm more reluctant to mention like in terms of the processors and things like that, because Apple pretty much knows what they're doing there. Apple, no matter what they do, their hardware is never far from the software, so you get this overall optimized feel when you're talking about Apple. But other than that, I mean, yeah, Samsung, and not only Samsung, I mean, you know, HTC, LG, everybody ran circles around Apple a long time ago. The real issue here, because when you have this conversation with people and you say, yeah, well, if they passed them, why they ain't selling more phones? And it's simple. One, somebody's got to be #1, right? And when you're #1 by a margin like Apple's #1, no one's closing that gap, you know. And I mean, for instance, I don't care what you tell me, Microsoft will forever have 98%, or well, it's more like 91% of desktops in the world. No matter how much MacBooks you see in a while, cut it out. You know who owns this space. When you talk about search, no matter how good Bing and Cortana gets, you know Google owns that space. You know what I mean? When you talk about mobile phones, cut it out. You know the iPhone runs this. Now, to me, it's always interesting to understand why. I think it's something very simple. Apple, well, not Apple, Samsung, Microsoft, HTC, LG, these guys have not figured out how to properly present a proper user experience. And this is not entirely their fault. I mean, you know, Android as a platform is so complex, which is why I always loved the Windows Phone. Windows Phone for an LG Windows Phone on Verizon had the same experience as an LG Windows Phone on AT&T, which had the same experience as an unlocked Nokia Windows Phone, right? When you buy an Android phone, you get vastly different experiences. For instance, when I unboxed my Galaxy S8, it took me almost 15 minutes to get to the goddamn home screen. It was infuriating. I had to deal with Google shit. I had to deal with AT&T shit, and then I had to deal with Samsung shit. Like what the? And I'm not saying to you Apple's, because I know I set up iPhones for users on a daily basis. I'm not saying Apple's isn't long as well, but that lack, that consistent mayhem continues on Android phones across the board. And that's not something that Apple users have to deal with. And that's something that I can wholeheartedly say, to me, is why it will forever be number one in the mobile space. I can always, and I will forever always buy my mom an iPhone because there's very little I have to do. She knows how to use it right out the gate. You should see me struggling with a Samsung phone, and I live this shit for a living. And I'm on YouTube with you guys. And I was just like, what? Some things are just like, how do you do this on a Samsung? How does one find X, Y, and Z menu on an LG? Like, this is a problem. And I think this is where Apple really earns their reputation. And I know in the past I've bashed them for using the word innovation. Fuck you, Apple. You don't innovate. You just you copy, right? And that's their MO. They sit back and they watch other people fail and fall on their feet, and then they jump in and they try to make it better. They try to make it easier. There is gold. There is huge amounts of gold in simplicity, and Apple understands it, or they understood it at one point. That's a different conversation. Now, will the tech media ever acknowledge this? I think they have, but I think it still all comes back to a lot of what I'm saying is people just want easy use. People, I'll tell you what, this is how, because I'm an IT professional, I've been an IT professional for about 14 years now, and I can tell you one thing that's true. When I see someone and they say, "Whoa, Ramon, how are you? I haven't seen you for a while," that means that my job is well done. My job as an IT professional is to make sure that shit works and the technology removes itself from the equation. It just works. It does what the hell you need it to do, and that's that. That's Apple. You get what I'm saying? Like, when you buy a new iPhone, and here's where I think a lot of people, they're stuck in this world where they believe that Apple doesn't add enough features to the new iPhone, and it's the same shit time and time again. Yes, some of that can be true, but a large part of that is that you are so vastly familiar with this product right now that it just feels so blah to you. And that's a good thing. The fact that you can close your eyes and still get it to work like it did on the last phone, like, guys, that's a good thing. I don't care what anyone tells you. Now, as a geek and a nerd, for someone looking for some shit that's different just to be different and have something to play with, sure, that's not the best thing in the world, but I'm telling you, this is something that Apple is unrivaled in, and I think this is why it doesn't matter if people know that they've been surpassed in innovation in the technology world, and this one's got better specs. It just doesn't matter. It just never really mattered, actually. Not even from the first conception of the conception of the first iPhone. We had phones that were twice large display and 4 times faster processor, and it didn't matter then, and it didn't matter now. So that's how I see that question. Great question, Hassan. Thank you as always for your questions, good sir. If you like the video, like it. Don't forget to subscribe. We got plenty more content like this coming. My name is Ramon, and I'm out of here. Peace. If I had to describe Lifestyles Defined, I would say it is a dream come true to have a platform where we can talk about the things that we love, and we can share with people who also love the things we love the way we love, and just have conversations that matter and go back and forth and grow as a community. It's been a pleasure. It's been a dream, and I just want to thank everyone that's involved for rocking out with us.